Hey, this is Lamont, and this is the final Tower of God differences video until season 2. Hope you enjoyed these differences videos. The next differences story I'll be covering is Dead Man Wonderland and why there isn't a season 2. So stay tuned for that and think about subscribing. For that, and now aliens, cue the real music, and let's begin with episode 10, which basically goes the same as the webtoon, just in a different order, like learning the full scheme of how Kun tricked his entire team. Then we can't forget about Kid Rack, who still gets turned into a small version of himself, but there are some little differences, like Rack in the webtoon actually didn't recognize Hung Sung because his hair was down, and Leroy was present to witness the whole thing in a very dramatic manner. Now, here comes just straight cut content from the anime, and in the webtoon, Dorsey asks Bam why is he so loyal or obsessed with Rachel, with his reply being practically because she was the only one to save him from the darkness of the cave. Here's the next cut content that'll also lead us to the funeral, where it plays almost the same, but Rachel never attended it in the webtoon, but instead this POS was standing in her room, stretching her legs to be a pushover. And in the book, the funeral is after the event who passed the test. So the conversation on a hill with Bam and Rachel never happened like in the anime. Then it seems like in the book, Quant and Leroy take showers together, or the Rankers share shower. I don't know, but the meeting Kun and Leroy have play out almost the same, though Kun seems to like Leroy's speakers and there's a record player in the source material. That's it there. But the little belt or fight Poe and Hung Sung have is all the same, with Hung Sung wanting Anik gone. Oh yeah, I forgot about a conversation that's missing in the anime between Serena and Ship, explaining why Ho is so jealous of Bam, and it wasn't because Bam was so powerful or anything like that, but it's because he stands out, he never loses focus, practically saying he's still pure, unchanged by the world. After that, pretty much everything else is the same, like Bam admitting he's an irregular, Kun not saying he can't get down with no dirty irregular, only using that to motivate everyone else to help. So that's it on episode 10. My bad if it sounded confusing, I just had to jump between chapters a lot here, so my bad again. Now, next episode 11. Now here, what I'm going to be talking about is just straight cut content that wasn't included in the anime, with the first thing being, after Bam meets with the administrator of the floor, there's a big montage in the manga that includes things like Ho's funeral, cause that's after everyone knows who passed, and then Rack training with Alekai. They end up making it a competition, Bam training with Dorsey, getting bamboozled by her, Ship and Kun making plans together. Then the last two ones, the fishman getting his ignition weapon back, with the last thing being they have a big party ending with Serena reflecting on everything that's happened, with the main person being Ship. Then also, if you look right here, you can see that she's thinking about Ship, but more specifically, the scene is when Ship slapped the heebie-jeebies or just punched her in the face, and so I guess she's like into some freaky stuff, so yeah, or 50 Shades of Grey or 50 Towers of Grey, I don't know. I guess there is a romance there, but I couldn't find anything saying she left in the webtoon, but also in the webtoon she's not in this group shot right here, so I don't know what happened here exactly. Sniper Elite is still there though, so kind of starting to root for this guy, even though he just in the first episode kind of off somebody, a woman I mean, shot her in the head I might add. But the game is played exactly the same way and explained the same way, and the thieves being late is still the same also, but the first change comes when Anik and Dorsey fight the bull, because in the manga technically Anik never got a turn, the bull ran away before she could fight him or her. Then the anime changes Nara a little bit, making her seem more innocent by having her say she didn't show her special trait not to be a show off, but her manga counterpart says she didn't show it off because it wasn't beneficial. Final three changes come when the pickle throws the spear, and the webtoon Pericle throws it cause he supposedly heard Rack say to throw it, but in the anime he threw it cause he had to save Hats cause he was about to be attacked by a thief, which I like more cause it makes him seem like he's not such a bad guy. The second change is Kun seems to let his plan be known about what he's doing. Then the final change is Anik actually fights one of Poe's pets that takes up most or almost an entire chapter, which still ends with her defeat. This change is in the manga, but in the anime she actually just fights Poe. If I didn't mention it, then it was pretty much the same. Alright, so now we're moving on, going to episode 12. And yeah, it's that episode, the episode where the thing happens. The first change comes when Yuri meets Ship. In the anime, she's not seen as intimidating like in the manhwa, especially with the red eyes, like she's a black dragon. Shout out to to Yu-Gi-Oh! Next change is a comedy moment when Endorsi tells Anik, let's have lunch after they beat the test, with her also saying Anik is paying for it. The lizard's reply back being she's extremely broke, and if Endorsi orders lobster, she'll pluck her eyebrows out. Don't you just love their relationship though? It's adorable, I gotta say. And it feels so organic, which is very difficult to do nowadays in anime, but I love this relationship because it does feel very organic. Then when Yuri fights with Poe, there's a lot more fighting in the anime. Also, Evan and Hansung's conversation is the same. The most notable change is Kurodon actually destroys Poe with his hammer in the sky with a hammer Shinsu blast, or the force of him just thrusting down. Then the meeting between Agnes and Hunchling are actually different, cause in the webtoon, Hunchling only comes to use Agnes's or Kun lighthouse cause he lost his party and Agnes didn't even know his brother. Last thing, Kun was less tense in the manhwa as well, which I think SAU did this to paint Hunchling in a more mysterious way. In the anime, the Kun brothers recognize each other, and Hunchling even offering Agnes an opportunity to see Maria, which I feel takes away his mystery of the character cause he seems cool with his family, so it makes no sense why he defected. Then the conversations end differently, with Hats attacking the defected Kun family member in the show, and in the book, Agnes saying he's going to become king and rule the tower to be next to Maria, and Hunchling leaving saying, control your lighthouse first. Also, Ghost seems to be there, taking the test in the webtoon, just being really useless. After that, everything is the same. Now, time for the big moment where Rachel solidifies herself as the villain, solidifies herself as the worst, best, second protagonist to hate our dirtagonist. Let it be known, she is a hater. These moments are completely identical, from keyframe to panel, exactly the same, with Bam hurting his hand, doing the Shinsu blast at the end. The only major change is Bam landing in Rachel's lap. That's a anime only moment, ending the same, with Rachel pushing Bam off the edge for her own selfish reasons. But the anime takes it a step further with the ending of this episode, which puts you in your feelings. Cause what gets to me most, Bam in prior episodes or chapters says he doesn't understand why someone would throw away what they have for something they don't even know exists, cause they truly don't know what's up the tower. And Rachel literally did that with our protagonist, threw him away for something up the tower that she doesn't even know exists. And that ends episode 12. Now we're on the last and final episode of season 1 of Tower of God, episode 13. The manhwa and the anime are very similar here, with there only being a few changes, like Racken and Dorsey weren't there in the webtoon when the news broke Bam is dead, so you never heard Rax cry. It's not like you'd hear it anyway if you read it. Then after that, it's all basically a recap of things that led to Rachel pushing Bam off the edge. So here are things that are only in the manhwa, like the whole group getting rings from Hong Sung to commemorate them passing the test. Then it seems Hong Sung was working with somebody above him to get a hold of Bam. I know who it is, but no spoilers from me. Then here are two last things that are anime only moments. Those are Kun telling Rachel he wished he was the one that met Bam first, which shows he does care for Bam, probably way more than Rachel does. I know for a fact he cares more for Bam than Rachel cares for Bam. Then the last change is when Ryun comes for Bam, he stands up and does a pretty epic speech about why he's going to the top of the tower. Now with that, it concludes all the differences I could find and see, and if I missed some, let me know down below. These 4 episodes use 27 chapters, equating to part 1 of Tower of God. I love this series. I was hooked from the first episode and can't wait to cover it again. My rating for this series is about an 8.5, and only that cause they cut content that was needed for the world or changed the narrative that worked better in the original way. But I will admit there are things that they do make the story the anime is telling a lot better. I just hope that it doesn't pull a Hunter x Hunter and the kite thing, bringing him only when needed, or bringing a certain character only when needed in the story of Tower of God. Cause in the anime of Hunter x Hunter, they only brought in Kite at the end of the story when they actually needed to. They didn't even mention him one time in the anime, when he plays a very vital role in the story of Hunter x Hunter. So that's it from me. I enjoyed doing this series. The next ones I'm covering are Dead Man Wonderland and Akame Guy Kill. So stick around. Whoop, my bad. The aliens must have messed up my script again. So stick around for those, because I'm trying to bring closure to those who only watch one or the other of those series. For anyone who needs closure on why there isn't a season 2 for Dead Man Wonderland, and who actually survived in Akame Guy Kill, because the anime kinda, if you've seen the anime, then you know what happened. If you watched the other Tower of God videos, thank you for watching those, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Then, if you like this, then like this, And on that note, it's about time for me to get pushed out of here.